your quest completion. And then, of course, they have Mage at the top end. So I think this Mage Mirror actually means a lot for how this series is going to play out overall. This is a big one. This is a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. And I hate the phrase in a zero-sum game that it's bigger for one player than the other. But if such a phrase made sense, which it doesn't, I think this is a bigger game for DreadEye than for killinallday. Because if killinallday wins this game, I think he's in a super strong position. But if he loses it, he can still be okay, because his other matchups aren't terrible either.
What more could you ask for from DreadEye? He's got Quest, he's got Flow, he's got Magtheridon. Literally all you need. And now, killinallday.
What more could you ask for killinallday? Yeah. He's got Quest, he's got Card Draw, he's got Incanter's Flow.
So, killinallday, in every single game, every single individual game that he's played in the second half of the second season of America's Grandmasters in 2021, he's drawn a Canter's Flow on 3.
A lot of flows. He's got the Cram Session as well. He's basically got all the same cards now, apart from Magtheridon, which he doesn't want as DreadEye. So he's playing this very well. And he's nodding about it. He's having a nod. He's like, yeah.
Oh, man. This is going to reach a crescendo very soon here. DreadEye is going to have Imprisoned Phoenix emerging. I imagine he's just going to dram this
He's going to what?
Cam session.
So many things wrong with that I'm not even going to get into. He did draw the Brain Freeze, which means he can get rid of the Phoenix if he wants to. Which means that he can do it before Killin can get rid of it, because he had no way of getting rid of it himself. But now he does. And now he's run out of mana, and everything costs 0 or 3, and he's got 2, and it's all a bit awkward, and he's looking at his hand, wishing it cost different things.
This is the territory that comes with drawing a Canter's Flow on 3. This is now 3 games that killinallday has drawn a Canter's Flow on 3 with Mage, and then had double Ice Barrier plus Arcanologist also in his top 5. Don't ask me why I know that. I tend to pay a lot of particular attention to killinallday.
I did notice it in
other players.
In game 1 yesterday, he did get the Arcanologist barrier. I definitely remember that. It was a big deal, but it's actually, because I'm trying to work out if I think Arcanologist is actually good or if it's a joke. And every time Killin plays it, he just draws Arcanologist and 2 barriers, which makes me think it's a joke. But I also know that's incredibly unlikely, so I just can't make an opinion. It's just trying to force my opinion for me in the wrong direction.
Meanwhile, DreadEye is just drawing the Stone Cold Nuts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's just starting to point things. There you go, look at that. Pointed.
Yeah, as soon as you start to point things, it's game over. Right. DreadEye has pointed way more things than killinallday has pointed so far in this match. And I would say he's incredibly ahead.
Yeah, just the old point and click. Killin on the other side, though, is doing the old tradables. Guy's hand went from really good to kind of junk really fast, didn't it?
Yeah.
Did he trade first? Oh, yeah, I guess he traded because he hoped to do something. And then when he whiffed, he had to play the Arcane Intellect. But if he played the Arcane Intellect first, he might not have whiffed. So that's a dilemma.
DreadEye's still missing a Frost spell, though, but could discover like a Brain Freeze here with Wand Thief. Or he could just plan to kill him.
Fireballs all day.
Without it.
It's just a point card, isn't it?
Yeah.
Point the cards. At the blue thing opposite.
Yep.
I should be a games designer. Listen to that game design. He's drawn that fire sale like 4 times or something. Keep it in your hand, then you can't draw it again. Joking, I mean, I say that jokingly, and obviously here I mean it jokingly, but in this meta, tradable's been really weird because it does slow down the decks that are trying to draw their whole deck. It doesn't because it draws you the cards that draw, but if you're drawing one card 4 times, your deck's 34 cards. So it's been quite interesting how tradable has functioned as a new mechanic.
Yeah, it's very interesting in the matches where you actually just don't want to play that card ever. You just want to keep trading it when you draw it.
Okay.
Just desperately needs to get the frost spell out, and putting minions on the other side of the board. DreadEye already had a minion. All right, that's quest completion for DreadEye with the brain freeze pickup.
Yeah. Well then. Pretty close to just winning the game right now, right?
Yeah. It's
I demand answers.
nearly guaranteed next turn. If you can pick up burn from this ruined orb, it is guaranteed. 9 damage in hand currently.
Yeah, he's got the one thief as well. Got the studies for extra buff as well. Yeah, anything. Has he got any card draw? I guess he hasn't.
Well, he's got Arcane Intellect.
I guess he has.
Curious what the point of that is.
Make space.
It doesn't, though.
Try to make, well, half make space. Yeah. Okay, good point. It's pointing and clicking. Skilling's got a lot of cheap damage, but it's just not enough.
Yeah, Oasis Ally was a frost spell there.
So irritating you can't overwrite your own secrets. There you go. There's a frost spell, but
yeah, it's just a little bit too slow for Killing All Day. He has to hope that DreadEye completely moves on burn next turn, but DreadEye has 9 cards left in its deck, of which
2 flurries.
3 are burn spells. 1 is a cram session.
Oh, the flurry doesn't count. Yeah. 2 fire sales as well. So worst case scenario is he misses but hits a fire sale and then gets another go as well.
Yeah.
Unlike Killing, he's got like fire sales for days. He's sold so many fires. It's amazing.
Yep. So very likely lethal this turn for DreadEye.
Does Killing have lethal next turn if he misses?
Probably not, with only 1 flow played, but I mean, it's possible. It's just 25 is a lot to piece together with only 3 mana. There it is. That'll be lethal. And a big win for DreadEye that gets rid of probably the worst or the best deck against his lineup overall and takes it in the mirror. So now if you break down the matchups, like DreadEye should be in a good spot moving forward.
He should, yeah. He's still got a little bit to do because Killing also has the Priest, which also seems to have very few bad matchups here. He should have a bad matchup against the Fell Demon Hunter, but that's not necessarily how that one always plays out.
Yep. Most likely going to be queuing up the Priest now against the Mage, which is a good matchup, right? Mage can beat it, just because, you know, they have ice barriers and flurries and brain freezes and just things that can kill the board nonstop, or the fire sale. But there's Cult Neophyte. There's a lot of stuff in the deck that's difficult to deal with early on. If Killing All Day does lose this game, though, he's in a world of hurt.
Yeah, he is donezo if he loses this one. He's 6. The Grandmasters are 6 wins, 18 losses with Mage against Priest this season. Yeah, so that doesn't bode well at all for the Mage here.
Yep.
But it can, like you say, it can be done. I was pulling funny faces at you just because I like the Priest to beat the Mage for various reasons. Mainly because I'm usually playing the Priest and I'm rarely playing the Mage. That'll do. Reader, Tiny Fin. How much do you want to? You want to keep the Reader, right? Probably throw the rest, to be fair.
I'm probably throwing everything away.
You can do that too. I'll let you. Go for those raised dead crazy starts. I think I keep the Reader. I'm expecting my first things to be killed.
Well, I think you keep the Reader if you have another hand that you're keeping that you know Reader will be good on 3.
Sure, that's fair.
But I wouldn't
Because you
keep the
might draw
Reader
two.
as my only card because then I might draw a little bit more of an expensive hand and then it's not going to get value.
Okay. So, how about you keep all 4, even though none of it's that good?
No.
Okay.
I'm probably throwing everything away. Much rather have Void Touch Attendant,
That's the one.
Cult Neophyte, Guardian Og Merchant. Okay, actually keeps Tiny Fin and Chaplain, which is weird, but...
It's weird that he didn't keep the Reader with those 2 in particular, right? If you're going to keep a 0 and a 2 in your opener, then the Reader becomes better. But okay, he had a plan. Let's see how it unfolds.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have Mind Render as well now, so some of these plans go well. Mind Render is it's so good against Mage. Like, forgetting all the other things we discussed at the start, if you get Mind Render against Mage, because you can see it coming, you almost always beat them. Like, because you can see the Mage killing you coming. You know which turn they're going to kill you on.
Yeah.
You can just hold the Mind Render as long as you want. You don't have to do the old switcheroo.
I'm really curious about the Ignite last turn.
Yeah.
I guess he wanted to flow on 3 and wanted to spend the mana, but like from his perspective, he could have just pinged and then had Ignite Brain Freeze the following turn. But I guess if you want to flow on 3, then this makes a lot of sense. But this is going to be a lot of damage that he's taking early on. Fire Sale is going to be good here, and I like that Killing All Day is looking at Guardian Og Merching the higher health or the lower health target to protect it from a possible Fire Sale. This is smart. Still pushing damage. Also good. And then at any point in this game, he's got the alright, Mind Render Lucia, I win kind of situation going on.
And he's got that next turn as things stand. Obviously, it's likely DreadEye will remove some of this board, but yeah. There's 9 plus another 9. But now it's only 5 plus 7 available. He can play the Imp, and he can raise some deads.
Yeah, Raised Dead Pool is Guardian Og Merchant plus Wriggling Horror. Wriggling Horror seems great in this situation. Good Guardian Og Merchant as well, to be honest. You just play them both, and then play the desk.
Yep. And
He really needs to be efficient with a hero power here. I think he just needs to put as much power on the board, as much difficult power to deal with on the board, and then set up for Mind Render to win the game.
Absolutely. DreadEye is going to need something pretty special next turn to not be dead in 2 turns.
He's got the tools to be able to do it, right? Brain Freeze will buy some time. Refreshing Spring Water will pull multiple reduced cross cards from the deck and kind of reset the mana crystals as well. Hot Streak allows him to cheat out more stuff. Ruined Orb, great. Second Ruined Orb, great.
Wow.
Yeah, can pick apart most of this board here.
One of the problems that he's not going to have here, because he's going to get to play the Ruined Orbs, but when you've played the Flow against Elucia, it actually helps the Elucia just cast your things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he shouldn't. You've got to advance your own game plan, of course, but it can end up just playing against you if they draw that Elucia. You have to hope they never hit it, otherwise the game's kind of over the second they draw it.
Yeah.
But he's fighting on, like you do.
Yeah, he's looking for... Yeah, he's going to combustion these last 2 minions, so with Hot Streak.
Worked pretty well. And he's done a good job. He's kept no reduced cost cards in hand. I mean, there's 2 as far as killing knows, so you're surely Chaplain Reader here.
There's merit for fitting in a hero power as well.
Okay.
Just because Mind Render buys you an extra turn. If you don't hit burn, then...
Sure.
Oh, he's going to Mind Reader now.
Is that it? That's it.
This is good. Yeah, because he's got 7 damage on board. Plus 9 with the hero power. Nope, that makes sense.
Yeah, that's. I'm surprised I missed that one between us yet. No way out. Give them the Vita, let them draw some cards for you. That's nice.
Yeah, no, that's smart play from Killen. 9 damage on board. Nothing in his deck that would challenge any 3 health minions. In his own deck that would challenge any 3 health minions. And a guaranteed lethal setup. Nicely done by Killing All Day. Obviously, was given the tools to be able to do that, but maximize power each and every turn, protecting himself from the fire sale as best he could to guarantee 2 minions would survive. I think that was very smart. And then calculated the Mind Render perfectly, realized that there was guaranteed lethal if he Mind Renders now, and there's not a single card in his own deck that can deal with a 3 health minion that was on the board. So just a kind of a textbook example of the Shadow Priest versus Mage.
Yeah, you said textbook example. His opening hand, he kept the Murloc and the Chaplain, right? And I'm not saying we were completely perplexed, but we were like, well, that's not what we'd have done, I don't think. But that Chaplain came back with the Raised Dead and kept minions alive over and over again. It made it really hard for the Mage to hit those key points. It meant that after the fire sale, the reload was fast and efficient and put things again out of range, except of like fireballs. But if you're fireballing, you're losing there as the Mage, because 4 mana to kill a thing, not enough. So that keep was pretty interesting.
Yeah, it really was. It really was. Obviously there's higher upside, but I guess from Killen's perspective is he's got a good play on 2 with high upside of hitting Wriggling Horror, which he did. And the downside is he throws away everything and gets a hand where he just doesn't have a good setup on 1, right? So I like that, playing into the fact that it's a good matchup and not taking the risk of full mulling and getting back a hand that's not as good as what he could have kept. So
yeah, we saw a hand earlier. I can't remember who got it in Europe, but it was like Alucia, Ganling, and the other 2/3 drops in the deck, or something like that. It was just Grid Reader, something else. And it was like, this beats nothing. Why are you playing this deck? But we're into the next game now, and the Fell Demon Hunter and the Priest. And honestly, I'm not sure about this one either way. Brain says that the Fell should be favoured, but results don't necessarily always back that up.
I think this is a terrible, terrible matchup for Priest. You either kill him on turn 4 or you don't kill him at all.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree because I know that that's the thing that I would say if I was on my own and had to make sense without sort of a discussion point. But I just don't think it goes that way as often as it feels like it should. I do think it's favoured for the Demon Hunter, obviously, but probably pretty highly favoured. But it's not a gimme. I don't think it's a gimme. But I'm not dying on this hill. I'll find a different one.
I'm really curious about the Illidari studies on 1 here. Because there's a lot of draws off the top that just block this card forever.
That's a good point. Especially with Zai sitting on the left-hand side. Was he just trying to find, like, insta card draw?
Well, it would be only Crimson Sigil Runner.
Yeah.
In which case he'd have plenty of time to do that forever. Yeah, I don't know. But Killing All Day is faced with a difficult situation. Malrik's not really a minion you want to leave alive, because you get nothing from it. Whereas DreadEye gets a ton from it. But in order to kill it here, he has to play very inefficiently by trading into it, hero powering, and then Guardian Og Merchant.
Does have the option to dump everything but the Merchant and the Reader, which leaves the Moarg up, which is horrible. But does set up a huge Merchant. Yeah, he's getting rid of it. I can't blame him for that.
Yep.
Huge merchant will have to wait.
Fine with this as well.
DreadEye has one more turn and then his hand starts to become atrocious. He's okay for now. But you could really do with picking up some things that aren't these. Which is kind of good because, you know, these are already in his hand, so he shouldn't pick them up.
Yep.
Right. Mini Yeti.
Play. Yep, put a 4/5 in play. Next turn he has Chaplain plus Wriggling Horror to make a pretty menacing board.
DreadEye picking off what he can. Next turn he can get rid of the merchant, but he can't because of the horror.
Ooh, okay.
Do you just want to make a monster merchant?
So this has been a lot of interesting decisions that Killing All Day has been faced with. I like this. Just keep your big thing alive. 8 health is a good breakpoint because it's out of range of Talented Arcanist plus Immolation Aura by itself. Would need a little bit of something extra. Belgorder's a good pickup.
It is. He needs to hit though. And it does.
Fantastic. Can actually kill the merchant now.
Yep. Which will be a relief because that was only a couple of turns away from going all the way with the Org Merchant Reader next turn being an option.
Yep.
Chaos Leech being so good, of course, in this matchup because the health gain is gigantic for you. Do with picking up Raise Dead straight away.
Can I tempt you in a full value Voracious Reader instead?
Yeah, you can tempt me. I'm just trying to work out what to use my Org Merchant on first. I think you bump in the Wriggling Horror and ping down the 4/3. That's what I want to do. Because then I have a Wriggling Horror in my dead minion pool for when I hit my Raise Dead off my Voracious Reader.
That seems incredibly smart to me. Yeah.
Thank you for that, TJ.
Other option would be to leave the Felgorger up, but
Sure.
I don't know how big of a fan I am of that. Oh, Immolation Order drawn for DreadEye. That's the card that he wanted to see. Certainly.
Yep, he's going to leave it up. Come on, man. You play the Homunculus. Just get it out there. Nobody wants to play the Homunculus. Nobody ever knows why it's in the deck, but you lose when you take it out.
I think he's like really trying to think of positioning, not only for his own Wriggling Horror, but also for Fellscreen Blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look at that. He's positioned it, like you say, he's positioned it to protect the Reader here. You want to put the Reader on blast, it's all you're getting.
All right.
We can do this. We're not going to fall for the gambling void touched issue that everybody else can't do, are we? We're going to get this right when it comes up. Here we go.
There it is.
Here we go, TJ.
Don't mess this up. Don't mess this up. All right. If you play the Void Touched Attendant with a Gambling on board, it's not actually there.
Like this, you mean?
Yep. This is not a Void Touched Attendant. This is a 4/4.
Uh-huh. We know this.
We nailed it. Oh, man, Neil. We
High five,
nailed
man.
it.
We got this. Yes. America's region, best casters, proved. QED. Interesting that Killin chose not to...
Holy moly. Look at that. Skull. Good, good, and good. All good.
Mm-hmm.
His whole deck is good, so I don't know why I expected anything different.
You didn't sound like you expected different. You just sounded like you were stating what they were, which is all good.
All right.
Void Touch is going to attack for 5 this turn. Because the Wriggling Horror is going to buff it.
Yeah. So it added 1 damage after all. That's what you're telling me? Oh.
For 6.
Yeah, you just dump it all. There's no reason not to.
Yep. You know you're in trouble. You've seen that. I mean, it just doesn't get better for you, right? As this deck, it's just going to get worse. So do it.
Yeah.
Too much power! Count your blessings, mate.
Protect the attendant at all costs. Scary board. DreadEye's got some outs, though. Immolation Aura would clear up everything. Fury is not.
It's just health gain. He gets
the skull. He gets the skull. It's an easy dumpable card for the skull. There it is. Yep. And he should be able to clear things up.
That helps if it goes right. That doesn't really help right now, and that's really good.
Yep. It's all good. This is full health. There it is. There it is. That's full health. That's full health. It's all full health.
And when you see it go like this, you wonder how the priest can ever win, which goes back to the discussion at the start of the game, which you were saying, well, Neil, you're crazy. And now I feel crazy, but it doesn't always go this way.
Yeah.
Chaos Leech is the big deal early.
I would just attack base. Yeah, he's taking 1 extra damage from that. You just push 10.
Yep. It's a lot. Reader. That'll prolong the game for a turn while we wait.
Yep.
Why is Jace always the bottom card? Every time, for everybody.
It's perfectly fine.
I wonder.
I mean, taking a look at the bottom of DreadEye's deck, he's got Fell Screen Blast, Illidari Studies, Immolation Aura, Fell Barrage, Chaos Leech, Fell Gorger, which will pull any one of those things that I just mentioned, because nearly all of them are Fell spells, and then a Jace.
Yeah,
pretty much. I can't think of any card off the top that's not just really good for DreadEye.
And then there's the Jace in the hole.
Yeah.
Trying to work out. So, in the combination of cards where these 7 cards are organised like this, and this is his 4-card hand, this is how I sometimes win. And you know what the answer always is to that discussion? It's involving draw a Lucia, play their Metamorphosis and their Jace, and hope. And it never works. Ever. You get this deep down the rabbit hole, or the well, whatever we're deep down right now. Never happens.
Yeah. Maybe he can raise dead into double Void Touch Attendant, and then play a Void Touch Attendant, and then all this stuff sticks.
If APAC can't work out how many damage 0 Void Touches do, imagine if there's 4 Void Touches, the problems they're going to have.
Especially if you throw a Ganling in there, because then who knows how much damage it is.
He could choose how many Void Touches actually Void Touch and how many turn into failed students. How did I know that? Look at me go.
Look at you go. All right.
I read the lore on Gandling, which I can only remember parts of now, so I'm not going to repeat, but God, that guy was a bit scary. Seems very impolite. Just turning students into zombies. No wonder they failed.
Now I am complete.
Has Killing spotted an out? He has, right?
Oh, wait a second. Nope.
Oh, so he needed, in his mind, he needed to hit a Lucia, dump a load of stuff, and a Lucia, and do 15 with multiple Void Touches, right?
He'd still be dead. I think this is an incredibly smart play from DreadEye. Because let's say Killing All Day with a Lucia here, he can't kill off his own Void Touch Attendant, and then there's a ton of damage coming back at him. Like right now, Killing All Day can't even raise dead, because if he raise dead, he takes 4, and then Metamorphosis plus Hero Power next turn wins the game.
I think he needed the raise dead into the Void Touch you talk about, into Lucia, into just winning.
So he's got to kill this 1/3 on the board, and then push everything face and hope the next draw is dead. But I don't think there's a single dead draw in his deck.
All right,
There you go.
that's not one.
Amidst the flames, only
Good effort, killing. But ultimately, at least it showed that you can win this game. It didn't, did it? It just didn't show that at all.
No. And I think the setup from DreadEye was smart to cut out so many of the outs.
I agree.
And make my run
Sadly.
much worse.
Yeah, nice work.
Yep.
That leaves us with one deck left for Killing All Day, and it is the Handlock, because the Rogue was banned. Yeah.
It certainly is. And it is somewhat threat dense. It's got Anetheron, Baron Scavenger, and Flesh Giant. No Knolls. It has the Rune Mythal Rod and Mana Feeder Panthara. He cuts one Unstable Shadow Blast, Knolls, and that's it.
Just looking now. Oh, one Mortal Coil, but that's sort of, yeah,
It's
cut these days.
That happens a lot.
Yeah.
I am complete.
All right.
This is the neutral. Well, it's got the Pantheras, I guess, but it's kind of the neutral build now. The way the game's gone.
Yeah. I still think this is an okay matchup for DreadEye here. He's won it multiple times thus far throughout the weekend, and one of the big benefits of it is you can just play all your fell spells and just smack them, and then pretty much at any point a J Straw just wins you the game. You have a ton of time because the threats aren't coming online that early, and even if the threats do come out at that point, you've likely had a chance to hit the goods, hit the Arcanist, Moarg, Immolation Aura to just clear everything away. And a lot of times just one board clear is enough to buy you time to get there. So I'm liking DreadEye's chances, to be fair.
How much of this does he keep? Yeah, a lot of it, because it says the word fell on the bottom.
Yeah. That damages my opponent, that damages my opponent, that draws a card which damages my opponent, and I got Jace. All right, game plan is complete. Ship everything to face and kill him on 8.
All right. We have seen it go wrong sometimes with some... He got involved in a weird game where he ended up with Jace and Zai and was facing down a fairly mediocre board, and nothing just kind of worked out. That was a really complicated one. Yesterday, I think it was. But for now, this one's fairly straightforward. Not worrying about key numbers a little bit nearer. His job is to hurt his opponent rapidly.
Oh,
And those two cards will do that. Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
That's just all damage. Oh, that's not damage. It's kind of damage, but it's not really damage. This is
We'll
1-8
count it.
every time. Every time.
Muzzle their magic.
Always amazes me how fast Killing plays sometimes, then other times he goes really slow. It's just... He sees it, he doesn't muck about.
More damage.
So much. It makes you wonder why anyone would ever want a Brute in their deck when they can just do this. Look at all this damage. Right, Killing is nearly gianting. I don't know what the verb is to giant, but he's going to giant.
Yeah, can come down next turn if he wants it.
Oh, he wants it. An 8-8. I guess it's an 8-8 for 5. It could be an 8-8 for 0 later, so I should be looking at other options, but...
Yeah, I think he just wants to keep tapping, to be honest.
Yeah, okay. I'll let you have that one.
Just ship a Fel Barrage. Absolutely.
Metamorphosis on 5 or on 6? You coin next turn to make it 5 your opponent? I like
Not
5.
now.
Oh no, change to go. Stop it! And he did ship the giant, by the way. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's just...
Tell you what, there must be some right rubbish left in his deck because he's drawn all the cards that do anything.
Complete.
Just damage. Look at all the damage.
Look at all them chickens.
All right, so let's see. He can go Metamorphosis Hero Power to face Aldraki Warblades
Yep.
Fury next turn. That would push 8.
And also hold the Fury. It's up to him. Yeah. Okay, now he needs it, I guess.
Maybe he
What can you do about this giant?
He can clear it if he wants. It's a very expensive clear, but he can with Talented Arcanist Moarch plus Immolation Aura. He's under a lot of pressure, and that's really the only sensible way I can see to clear it. Alternatively, he could Moarg Chaos Leech Hero Power it, or even Moarg Chaos Leech Fell Scream it.
I'd like him to fit in a ping.
6.
Whatever he does, no matter how expensive, I'd like him to be able to ping face at the end of it all.
And well, he's not going to, so he kill the giant.
No, I want to kill the giant and ping the face, but it would have cost him a coin and a fell scream, and it would have been pretty grim. But you said expensive that way. Just want that Jace to get there, but now he's going to have to actually play Hearthstone for a few turns.
He can Blood Mage Coil. I'll actually draw a card, funnily enough.
It's pretty amusing, to be fair.
Ooh, Backfire. 8 cards in hand.
Hasn't got any ticks on the second half of the weapon in the second half of this season, so...
Would get the Bloodshard Bristlebacks online for next turn. She's gonna re-equip weapon just to get a card out of his hand so he can backfire in comfort next turn. I'm okay with that.
Yep. Looks okay. This is DreadEye's chance now to do something.
Oh, hello.
Fellow. Take all this. And that.
And then Talented Arcanist Fell Barrage.
That you might want to equip the War Blades depending whether you've got lethal next turn or not. For the extra 2 for next turn.
Talented Arcanist is an extra 4 right now.
Sure. 4's more than 2.
4 is certainly more than 2.
Demons.
Do you ever need the Arcanist to actually kill off an opposing minion, maybe, though? Oh, he's going to do both. That's fine.
9 cards in hand. What if you just take the overdraw here?
Might need to.
So many possibilities.
Yeah. Let's get a position where he can heal some.
He still draws 2 cards, so he gets stuff down. That's a free flesh giant. In that raised dead. A lot of times.
You are defenders of a doom.
He can actually do all this. He can have Netheron. I mean, he can just do it all.
And you've been saying that about him for years. But yeah. He needs to be on a high health total, though, or high enough.
You get accustomed to the
There's going to bristleback there, too, for you'd imagine. Yep. And maybe bristleback a bristleback is another option here.
Yep.
That's plenty.
Yep.
Alright, so he did save the Arcanist, which is going to pay off for him in terms of clearing up this big board.
And he's going to ship it. All right. I'm going to count some damage here. There would be that Fury is 3. And it's going to be doubled. So there'd be a rank 2 Fury, so that's 3. A Chaos Strike, 4, 5. 2 Fell Barrages, that's 4 each, that's 9. Metamorphosis and a hero power. That's 13. You deal 6 damage from the Fury immediately. And 2 Immolation Auras plus a Chaos Leech. Depending on the order that happens, I'd say it's very likely lethal next turn, unless Killing All Day can really piece something together here.
Yeah, can also, I don't know if you said it, but he can also put in the Fell Screen Blast to sort of give himself more chance of getting through anything problematic as well.
Yeah. You just add that to the pool right off the bat to give him more of a chance to push the rest of the damage to face.
In fact, he can add them both to the pool, which means, yeah, it sounds incredible that he could then not get there.
Yeah. He really wants to find a touch here for some additional healing. There's a touch. Touch can drain soul, can bristle back. And then we're looking at very likely lethal next turn for Killing All Day. Because he's cycled through much of his deck, he's going to draw even more cards. Has Unstable Shadow Blast. This is not lethal from DreadEye. Oh, he gets a free giant too if he got it down. Didn't get it down.
Okay, he did not. Arcanist clears. What does it clear, actually?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Well, Jace clears pretty much everything. So this is going to be a Jace turn. I imagine he's going to Fell Screen Blast first. He needs to save enough mana.
Once or twice. You want to save after Fell Screen Blast?
It's a Fury, a rank 2 Fury, a Chaos Strike, 2 Foul Barrages, 2 Immolation Auras, a Chaos Leech, plus a Metamorphosis. It's not lethal damage as far as I'm aware, even if all of the minions had been killed first. But at the very least, it's a board clear.
And as close to full heal as you're going to need.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks bad. Oh, he's on 30, but... 2 cards left. There's a backfire.
Last 2 cards are
Tamsin.
Touch plus Tamsin. And DreadEye is nearly out of damage.
I wonder.
There's a Chaos Strike, a Fury, and an Eldrazi Warblades left. And that's it as far as actual damage. So if Killing All Day...
He's got the Neophyte as well to buy a turn if he doesn't think he's got it now.
Yeah. It's not it now. He can't deal 30.
They might as well draw both
It's
those.
almost actually... Wait a second.
It's close. Don't forget, backfire's a fire spell.
Yep. So at the very least, he can go up to 12, right? That's a big one.
Yep.
Heard of me?
And he then
Giant,
he can touch Unstable Blast plus put a giant on the board.
Yeah, the giant he didn't get down when he wrote last turn, being pretty important there, maybe.
Yeah. And then you touch and then Unstable Shadow Blast for max damage. And then you drop the Flesh Giant and you push 7.
Alright.
And then DreadEye, even if he draws all of his damage, so like if he can Skull and play Eldrazi Warblades, Fury, and Chaos Strike. Oh no, he has a Metamorphosis hero power as well. So actually, if he did draw all of his damage, he might have it. So that's 4. So you put him down to 8. Eldrazi Warblades is 2. Hero power 3. Chaos Strike 4, 5. That's 9. Plus a Fury would be 13. So if he had all of his damage, it'd be 13. He can heal up here.
Right. And Killing's just out of things to do if this is all removed. But obviously he gets double fatigue a turn, basically.
But if this hero power goes into the
That's
Tamsin, then he's out of damage. Then he won't have the damage to end the game. His hero power has to go face.
Yeah, Killing's double Soul Rend is actually really important here. Because otherwise he would die to like a Fell Gorger or something over 3 turns.
Oh, yeah,
2 turns. The fact he can just kill the strays and waifs that are floating around in DreadEye's deck is really important.
Yeah, I think this hero power has. I think it has to go face. It has to go face. Yep. DreadEye has one more turn, I think.
I think so too. It's 3 plus 2 plus 4 is 9 this turn. The next turn is 5, 6, and 2. You've got 13. Oh, you're putting a puzzle on the screen. Okay.
There are runner outs for lethal.
And he has a skull that he can play.
He can hit him.
Don't forget, he can also heal up in some worlds.
Fury
Maybe
plus
one more turn.
Fury plus Aldraki is lethal. It's not lethal anymore because he can't fit it in a hero power.
Can he fit in a way to heal up so he doesn't die next turn? He's taking 5, 6, and 2. He's taking 13 next turn. Can he get to 14? Because that'll make things interesting.
Nope.
You sure with Thanos and Moag and weapon?
He heals to 10.
Okay.
For now.
There it is. Wow. Woo-hoo-hoo. That was a close one.
That was tight.
Yeah. The pivotal turn, honestly, was the turn that Killin nearly completed quest, got a lot of stuff on board, or completed quest, a lot of stuff on board, and healed up a ton. Drew through most of his deck. If he had gotten that Flesh Giant on the board, I don't think it dies, right? Maybe it still dies. I don't know. But that was a big turning point because it accelerated it, right? If he had given DreadEye one more turn, or had left himself at a slightly lower life total, he would have died. So I think that was a... Oh, I was like, I didn't press the button, but this is a replay. So when it brought up the deck on the side. All right, and now it comes down to this. They're similar, but also different. DreadEye's Handlock is the full go for fatigue kind of style. Double Mortal Coil, and Armor Vendor's thrown in there. Double
Everything
Unstable
but the
Shadow
ult.
Blast. Yeah, the Nightshade Matron plus Hand of Gul'dan. So he cuts all of the threats, but adds in more card draw and more removal. So he can get to his quest faster, but the big thing is how fast can Killin get to his threats, right? Because DreadEye has the better inevitability, but killinallday has things in between that can put a stop to what DreadEye's doing. DreadEye opens with a backfire. That's fantastic.
And I feel that the more we see of this, the more we see the DreadEye version is able to usually cope with whatever can be thrown at them, barring bad hands. They draw through so fast. They've always got removal. They've always got active bristlebacks from turn... I mean, am I about to say turn 6 and mean it? I've been known to say silly words before, but it feels like they're active from turn 7 or 8 for sure, and sometimes on turn 6 would be my assessment.
Oh my!
As he picks up the rod with backfire in hand.
Just hits the absolute nuts.
And I mean, Killin's in a spot because he can't keep up on card draw. It's just almost impossible. So he's going to have to activate the Giant or get something down. But he knows it will just get removed with all this ridiculously cheap hand now.
Yeah,
But I
this
just
is,
power through.
This is going to be very difficult for Killin.
Really is.
Very difficult.
I think he's on the rod to nowhere here. Gonna have to try and stick a Giant somehow and get it back and stick it more to the point.
You here for the tour?
Everything DreadEye's doing. I mean, DreadEye, the only thing he's going to have to do is keep an eye on his his hand size, I guess, but the speed at which he's going, even if he made a mistake on that, it might not matter. His hand costs like 8 for the whole hand.
Yeah.
DreadEye on the verge of reaching his second final in 2 weeks, TJ.
Yeah. That's incredibly impressive. Gives me no hands gamer vibes from last season.
Yeah, and last season, No Hands Gamer beat DreadEye in a final.
Mm-hmm.
But this season, DreadEye has beaten No Hands Gamer in a quarterfinal.
Okay. Where's he going with this one? Yeah, it happened yesterday. It seems like so long ago, though.
Actually, the reason I paused was because I just wanted to double check it before I said it, because it felt like he beat him last week in the final. And I knew that wasn't true. Obviously, it was Luna he beat in last week's final.
I wonder.
I don't even know what you do here is killing all day. He's got to try and go for like incredibly fast quest completion.
I guess. Yeah.
This makes his giant cheaper. I guess he can go for that, but honestly, DreadEye's been through so much of his deck now. His bristlebacks are going to be active next turn, which is when killing all day would want to activate these threats.
I was talking some sense. Good.
Yeah.
That makes me very happy not to be totally nonsense.
I'm actually really surprised DreadEye just didn't play the Nightshade Matron first there, because now he's blocked from playing it because his Soul Rend could get discarded instead. Now his turn is awkward.
Turn 5. What's even going on? And don't play the Matron by mistake now. That would be bad. What? Slow down! It's turn 5!
He's going to be
feel
able to
like
complete the quest next turn, very likely, depending on what he picks up off the top. And killing all day, I mean, his hand just costs way too much.
every time we see this, it's like, wow, they were active on turn 8. No, they're active on they're active on turn 5, technically, in this game.
Yeah.
I just keep thinking you can't go any faster, but surely you can't get them active on turn 4. There's a challenge for somebody. So the first giant isn't the one he was expecting to stick. He does have the double raise dead, which is what he's clinging to as his chance, right? Maybe he gets another giant and can start raise deading giants in the pairs.
Yeah.
At a time, maybe something sticks.
What is there? What else is in the raised dead pool for him? Killing all day. He's got a mana feeder, a blood mage, and a flesh giant. So it's a 1 in 3. It's not a terrible. But I mean, he's gonna die like.
Yep, he's got no BGBM, no Happy Cow, no Lower Theb. None of those cards in his deck. Spoilers, they're all the same card. Named by different people at different times. I shall name it Bob. Because it's easier to say. But Tamsin on the go as well. So that's going to... Even if Killing could go double giant, raise dead, double giant, raise dead, it might be too slow because Tamsin might just kill him first. There's a thought.
Imagine still having 13 cards left in your deck.
Yeah, why would you do that? It's turn 7. Come on, Killing. Going so hard, bless him. Oh, here's some giants.
Ah, hits 2. Okay, well,
Yeah.
we got something going here.
It's a few more. You could have a whole causeway of giants. But he could also just be dead in 2 turns and not have lethal. Yeah. DreadEye sees all this. He's played this deck enough. Not even having to pause. In fact, it's actually a positive to play this deck quickly, just in case you have animation issues. So my usual rant about playing too fast does not apply.
All right, so Killing All Day can like tap Mana Feeder. That's 4 mana. He would then go down to 10 cards in deck, and his hand would get reduced by 1. So then he could like bristle back. He could even bristle back twice with the leftover mana. Like bristle back the Tamsin twice. Not the most efficient play. That would also reduce the Baron's Scavenger down as well, which would be free because Baron's Scavenger, even though it says it costs 1, for some reason the discount still applies post 1, unlike some other cards in the metagame or in standard right now. So could get that down also if he goes for that play.
And he's got 2 turns max because...
Yeah. Solar gets him deeper in the deck immediately, then he can go Bristle back plus Scavenger. Okay, yeah, I like this. Takes the threat off the board. DreadEye really only needs 2 turns, though, to get a guaranteed lethal.
Yep, like he's got Nightshades, and in a minute he's going to have a Tamsin that will let him do the double hand thing.
Yep. Actually, this will all but guarantee it over 2 turns.
So he just needs to not die now, would be a smart plan.
Oh, okay, gets rid of the Tamsin, but this does the same thing, because now he can just go Backfire plus Hand of Gul'dan plus tap next turn, which is...
what, 3?
1 plus 2 plus 3, that's 6, 9, and then it would be 4 plus 5
How many
plus
cards?
6.
How many cards? I'll
15,
teach you a lesson.
14 plus tap.
How many cards? We get 3 from the hand.
3. It's
6. It's 7
it's an OTK.
cards.
It's 32
Yeah, it
damage.
is.
Yeah, it's 32 damage. Even more than that.
It's 1,000,000 damage. Let's go with that.
Yeah, because the backfire... No, it's even more than that. Because he takes 1 fatigue from the natural draw.
Yep.
Then backfire, which is 2, 3, 4, which is 9, so that's 10, plus the initial damage, that's 13 from backfire. A tap is 14, 15 plus 5 is 20. And then a Hand of Gul'dan, which is 6 plus 7 plus 8, which is 19.
You're so
39.
You're so strange. So he draws 8 cards. So 1 plus 8 is 9. Times by 4 is 36. And then 2 from the hero power is 38.
I feel like you're just making random numbers.
So if there's 8 cards drawn, right, you add the lowest one and the highest one. So you get 9. 1 plus 8 is 9, right? Because there's 8 cards drawn. And there's 4 lots of 9 in that 1 to 8. 1 and 8, 2 and 7, 3 and 6, 4 and 5. So it's 4 times 9, which is 36. And then you count the tap, which is 2 more, that's 38. You don't have to add it all as you go, you just count the number of cards that are drawn and then do a funny multiplication trick. And
but then the damage from backfire would be 41, would make it 41.
Yeah, sure. Then you add the extras at the end. Yeah.
But then it's only 39. So you have a random 2 in there somewhere.
That's the hero power.
I counted the hero power.
Sure. And you got what total did you get?
39.
How many cards do you draw? Definitely 8 cards?
I think so.
Oh, it's 7 cards. The hero power is 8. It's 8 cards. So it's definitely 36 from fatigue.
Okay. Maybe you're right.
1 plus 8 is 9. 4 9s is 36. That's definite. 3 from backfire. 2.
Wait. This whole time we were talking.
Kelly's gone nuts.
Enough.
Yeah, thank you though. Good point to wake me up.
Wait, he's got a Mortal Coil. And a Mana Feeder.
Okay.
It's a lot of damage. Last card is Mortal Coil. It will be reduced, but then he won't have enough mana for it all. I think he gets close. Nah, he was close, but not nearly enough. And DreadEye's going to take the win.
It's so near, especially as we're busy arguing whether something's 41 or 39 when there's 29 there. But that's how we do it.
I mean, Killen got pretty close considering like DreadEye's opening hand was just the ideal opening hand, and not even the ideal opening hand, just like all the follow-up beyond that was just amazing. So I'm surprised Killen even got that close. And I'll believe you that it was 41. Well, that turn it was even more because he was already 1 point into fatigue.
Yeah. That is only if
he was drawing 8 cards.
He had the mana to do the backfire and tap, and he was going to draw 8 cards. So it's just easy to count how many cards they're drawing first, string that all together, and then add on, you know, tips and extras and gratuities and stuff at the end.
Yeah.
Your main meal, you work out the card draw. Anyway, either way, we both knew it was over 29, and it was, so we're good. And DreadEye, despite the fact we nearly ignored him getting turned over, has got it done.
Going to the finals, up against Monsanto. And I feel like he has the lineup to do it, to be fair. I'm curious of like what the ban strategy is even going to be for Monsanto. But yeah, DreadEye second final in a row. And there you have it. It's all set up.
Importantly, for this final, TJ, both players have the same number of points now, because Monsanto was that 1 point ahead. So DreadEye has re-caught him. So they're both on 13, unofficially as it stands, because I'm not the official point giver. But in theory, the winner of this final will be the leader of the region at the end. And also the winner of this final will pick up their second win of the season. Because Monsanto won the week before DreadEye won. It's